Hello, Dana? Have you heard from Vicky yet? I anxiously asked. Vicky hadn't shown up for school, but she wasn't at home either. She'd gone AWOL. And I was frantic with worry, especially as it passed 10 p.m. already. No, this is very out of her character. Martin, tell me what's going on between you two. I facepalmed. Ugh, the word complicated wouldn't even be enough to describe this situation. It's a long story. Let me just tell you from the beginning. It started way back when I was just a kindergarten kid. I met my first ever enemy, Vincent Green. We just didn't see things eye to eye from the get-go. One normal day, I just finished my Lego city when Vincent charged over like Godzilla and smashed it to pieces. And so the war between us continued, one that carried on throughout our school years. He sabotaged everything I did and vice versa. One time when it was my turn to sing in music class, Vincent made fart noises and the whole class burst out laughing. Fair and square, that same day I poured liquid glue over his art collage. Another time he stuck a note on my back saying, "I wet the bed." Seriously, I was getting really paranoid as to why all these kids were laughing and pointing at me. Ugh. So in return, I put this fluffy pink teddy in his backpack. And in class, when he went to pull out his pencil case, the teddy flew out and landed in the middle of the room. Back then, Vincent had already seemed to be quite a girl magnet. I guess they viewed him as a pretty boy, but come on. All kids look the same, right? So I started going around telling everyone, Vincent only wants to play with the girls. Ew, gross. 5 years later, and our feud was still ripe. Vincent was great at studying, and baseball too. He was the PE teacher's favorite. And I know this sounds stupid, but that being flocked by girl thing was no longer gross. It was like a medal of honor. I tried so hard to be better than Vincent in everything. I was also one of the top students. I joined the soccer team. And I also had girls surrounding me. Still, that was not enough. Not until Vincent accepted his defeat. But then middle school started, and guess what? Vincent wasn't there. Finally, I was free of him. Now I could stay on top, flirt with girls, and become basketball captain without him trying to sabotage me. All eyes were on me, and it was fantastic. Although there was a small part of me that missed the competitiveness. Then on another day, like every other day in high school, I was walking along the corridor and noticed that all the girls were getting in a frenzy about something. "What's going on?" I asked my best friend Tyler when I arrived at my locker. "Not sure. It's probably the new boy or something. Girls are squealing all over the place." I didn't feel good about this. And then, just like in those slow-mo Korean drama scenes, the new boy ambled along the hall charmingly smiling, one hand holding a baseball bat, the other air-shooting girls. My face was slowly getting hot. Eyes goggled at the new boy. Yes, it was Vincent. He slid past me, sneered and winked. What a lousy jerk. That was definitely another declaration of war. A few days later, I saw Vincent everywhere, applying for class president, competing for the baseball team captain position, and flirting with pretty much every girl in school. Ugh. He was like a bad rash that wouldn't go away. To make it worse, his grades from previous schools somehow ended up published online, which made everyone go giddy for him. Ugh, Vincent Green, you just wait for it. However, he would have to probably wait forever, because I was ready to give up all the competitive intentions the moment I met Vicky. It was at lunchtime. I was having lunch with Tyler in the school garden when Dana, Tyler's girlfriend, came over. Behind her was an angel. I was stunned, mouth wide open. My half-eaten sandwich even fell from my hand. Dana said, "Hi boys, this is Vicky, my best friend. She used to be my neighbor until her family moved away. But she's just transferred back here now." Vicky gave us both a friendly smile. I, of course, took that chance and befriended her right away. Soon, Vicky and I started hanging out. When I was with her, it felt like everyone else had been muted. She was this ray of light in the darkness. She was perfect for me. Smart, beautiful, exquisite. And she was the only girl in school who didn't go all fluttery around Vincent. Actually, she hadn't so much as mentioned him once. I invited her over to my house, and my parents liked her so much they asked her to stay for dinner. Afterward, Vicky suggested watching a movie. The time whizzed past, and soon it was 10 p.m., and she had to leave. Let me take you home," I insisted. But she told me her brother was already on his way. So I led her down to the living room to wait. The doorbell rang. I went to answer to find Vincent standing there. We both froze and glared at each other. What on earth was he doing here? That's when Vicky walked over to him and said, "Let's go." Then she turned to me and kissed me on the cheek. Aw, sweet. But I couldn't think about this right now. Why was my mortal enemy at my front door? Vincent grunted. Vicky, what's going on here? I also snarled. Yeah, Vicky, what's he doing here? Despite the death stares we were giving each other, she just shrugged. Oh, Vinny, this is my boyfriend Martin. Martin, this is Vincent, my brother. Brother? My wonderful and perfect girlfriend is Vincent Green's sister? No. Yo, you're dating this loser? Vincent pointed a shaking finger at me. You are really that jerk's sister? I was trembling even more, while Vicky seemed unbothered as she walked toward the car. Vincent immediately growled at me. Stay away from my sister, before he quickly chased after her. I stood there deadly still, a horrified look on my face. I probably resembled some sort of gargoyle. No way. How could an amazing girl like Vicky be related to that jerk? The next day, Vicky texted me to meet her at the cafe. We need to talk. Uh-oh, no man ever wants to hear those words. Talk about a bad omen. But we were meant to be going on a double date with Tyler and Dana tonight, weren't we? I entered the cafe to see Vicky sitting there, looking all sulky with her arms folded. Oh no, this didn't look good. Before I even had a chance to sit down, she blurted out, Martin, why have you never told me about your arch enemy? Do you have any idea how big of a fight Vincent and I had last night? I sat there open-mouthed. Truth was, since meeting Vicky, I no longer cared about Vincent or our war. I only wanted to focus on Vicky. She made me so happy. I explained this to her, and she replied, Vincent still hates you. He's forbidden me from meeting you again. Of course, I'm not listening to him, but I want you to both solve this dumb feud. There is nothing to solve. He started this back when we were just little kids. He's a grade A jerk. I started to get heated. Vicky sighed. I mean it. You guys need to talk. As for me, I'm not going to let Vincent tell me who I can and can't see. I was so mad at that dude, I just refused to understand her words. I repeatedly came back at her that I didn't want to solve anything with Vincent. Then it got worse. Being as stupid as I could, I blurted out, It's either him or me, so who's it going to be? Vicky furiously stood up, shouted, How dare you make me choose a side? I love you, but that's my brother, then stormed off. Did she just say she loved me? Oh man, what had I just done? To my surprise, the double date still went ahead. The four of us were in this Italian restaurant, but Vicky hadn't said a word. This was so awkward. When Vicky was in the restroom, Dana gave me a piece of advice. You should listen to Vicky. Go make peace with Vincent. Then, to my annoyance, Tyler also agreed with Dana. I ignored that and asked Dana to take Vicky home. Later, we got into another big fight on the phone. I couldn't understand why she kept telling me to reconcile with that idiot. Just because she didn't want to stand between two rivals? Furiously, I said, I hate your brother. So there's no way I'm going to reconcile. If you love me, you'll be on my side. Vicky yelled out, Both of you are so childish, and neither of you care about my feelings. Then she hung up. So that was the story. Now this brings you up to date, and I have zero clue as to where my girlfriend is. I need to find her, and if that involves putting my differences with Vincent aside, then so be it. So I called everyone to the park, including him. What you two did to Vicky was so obviously wrong, Tyler spoke up. Being stuck in the middle of her bro and her boyfriend must suck. Neither of you even stopped to consider her feelings. Dana continued. Vicky loves you both very much. Don't make her choose. You guys should talk. Then both of them stood up and left us there. Vincent and I sat in awkward silence for a while. Eventually, he cleared his throat. I have to admit that I've been envying you. All the girls adored you. You're smart and great at sports. Vicky falling for you proves that you'd finally defeated me. That's why I got so mad. I looked at him with wide eyes. That was exactly what I thought about Vincent. I always felt like second fiddle to him. Always. I told him this, then we both scratched our heads and laughed. Then I said, Geez, what a couple of insecure losers we are. Vincent replied, Yeah, we're both pretty stupid for a pair of smart guys. Truce? He held out his hand and I shook it. We realized that no amount of attention could compare to the love we got from our girl Vicky. Suddenly, something popped up in my head. I know where Vicky is, I said. Let's go, Uncle Vinny. Vincent and I called Tyler and Dana, and then we went to the 24/7 cafe, where Vicky usually took me. There I found her dozing on a couch on the second floor. I gently shook her and said, Wakey, wakey, sleeping beauty, you gave us all a fright. When she saw that Vincent was there too, and we weren't biting each other's heads off, she gave this huge smile. After that, we all sat down and chatted over hot chocolates and cookies. Finally, the infinity war between two rivals had come to an end. I no longer have an enemy. Instead, I have a new close friend. It's funny how things turn out sometimes, isn't it? Now I'm a part of a group of 5 wonderful people, especially my girlfriend. What more can I ask for? Life is beautiful.
I raised the bow, hyper-focused. The target was right in front of me. Watch me conquer. Only, Grandpa, that one would have hit the bullseye. I'm just teasing. You're getting real good, Pumpkin. Hi, I'm Gina, and I love archery. My grandfather, my only family, introduced me to the sport. He always encouraged me to join contests, saying I had a knack for it. But competition's not really my thing. Talking to strangers was enough of a challenge for me. But my only friend, Bailey, is lovely and cheerful. We've been close since childhood to the day we came to the city for high school and became roommates. My new life promises fun and excitement, but I missed my grandpa dearly and wrote to him often. Dear Grandpa, my life here is wonderful. The dorm room is nice, clean and tidy, and every morning, soothing instrumental music from the speaker reminds me of the times we enjoyed music and a tea together on the front porch. Ugh, Bailey, turn it down. And are you gonna do something about your mess? Jeez, it's an organized mess. Ask me about anything, and I can find it immediately. By the way, there's a welcome party for freshmen tonight. Shall we go? Nah, I'm too tired. Come on, Gina, it'll be fun. You'll make some new friends, too. It's just... Okay, stay here then. I'm leaving. Somehow I felt a bit empty. I'd never noticed that Bailey and I were so different until recently. Bailey's a social butterfly who can make new friends easily. And me? I was introverted and reserved. I can't keep being this way. I came to the city for the experience. Duh! So when Bailey asked me to go to the school's fair, I immediately agreed. When the day came, while Bailey's chatting and giggling with other students, I just kinda absentmindedly faded into the background. Since Bailey did not seem to notice my absence, I decided to look around on my own. Suddenly, a scream startled me. Thief! Thief! I turned around to see a thief running away with a girl's handbag. Without thinking, I grabbed a set of bow and arrows nearby and shot at him. That's when I saw another arrow. Flying in the same direction, both arrows hit the thief right on his head and knocked him to the ground. I looked for the other archer and saw the Greek god Apollo, who's also looking at me. Then he went to handle the thief as I took the opportunity to quietly leave the scene. I was still daydreaming about that guy when Bailey barreled into our dorm with a group of friends. I quickly turned myself into a burrito and pretended to be asleep. But Bailey ruthlessly unfurled me with a wide grin. Hey, G, there's someone I'd like you to meet. Samantha, head of the school's archery club. Bailey told me you're quite an archer. Yeah, sort of. Well, we're looking for new members. You should come by. I'll be sure to stop by. Thanks. After school the next day, I visited the archery club and saw a familiar face. That's the guy from yesterday. Ooh, he also blows on the arrow like Grandpa. So cute. Oops, busted. Am I hallucinating or is he walking toward me? Hi, you were at the school fair. Your shot was phenomenal. I'm Chris, by the way. I'm Gina. So you're new here? Actually, I'm not sure if I'm going to join yet. Well, how about a little demonstration? Panicked, I tried to shoot with shaky hands and totally botched it. Sorry. Relax, you got this. He leaned over me and my heart was beating like crazy. I took a deep breath, softly blew at the fletching, and this time, I hit the target. See? Amazing shot. You should be more confident and open up so more people can get to know you. So Chris is into extroverts? He's right. It must be great being around an outgoing, confident girl like Bailey. She'd only been here for a week and already knew half of the school, and everyone loved her. So later that day, after struggling with myself, I decided to ask Bailey for help. Help? With what? Help me be you, an extrovert. You're fine the way you are. Why change? Right then, Samantha came to pick her up to go to a birthday party. Want to join us? You'd rather stay here and read, correct? You know me. Then Bailey left, just like that. All right, if she doesn't want to help, I'll do it myself. Time to break out of my cocoon. So I spend the next few hours giving myself a makeover. Not bad, was it? When I arrived at the party, everyone gawked at me. Hey, are you the sun? 'Cause your beauty is blinding me. If so, you should stay 93 million miles away from me. As much as I wanted to run straight home, a voice in my head kept screaming, socialize! On the internet, they said extroverts are always ready to make friends, like Bailey, who's part of every single conversation. So I mustered all courage to throw myself into the largest group who's talking about cute Arctic animals. I remembered a communication tip: lead the conversation. So I did. Isn't it so sad that those animals are losing their habitat to climate change? The next 5 minutes was me monologuing about the issue, but they didn't seem too interested. Okay, plan B. Bailey also always knows how to stand out, so when everyone started dancing, I stood in the middle of the room and danced my heart out. But after that, everyone looked at me like I was an alien, including Chris. When I was finally in my room, I felt totally defeated. Do you seriously want to be an extrovert? I need to, Bailey. If so, maybe take it slow and don't push yourself too hard. You don't have to become outgoing overnight. Ugh, Bailey clearly didn't believe I could do it. Fine, I'll show her she wasn't the only charming extrovert here. My first order of business was joining the archery club. That would be my best chance to impress Chris. To make up for the embarrassment at the party, I braced myself and approached the most playful guy here. Hi, I'm Gina. I like your shirt. Thanks. I'm Patrick. Patrick is the student council president. He's here to help promote the archery club. Then whenever Chris passed by, I tried to joke around with Patrick, although he seemed distracted. But Chris just turned away and looked unhappy. Gina, what's the deal with you and that Chris guy? He keeps looking over here. Oh, Chris? He's just a clubmate. Maybe it's because he doesn't like me very much. Boys thing. Anyway, I'm thinking about joining this club. Would you teach me? Sure thing. After that, Patrick and I often practiced archery together. I got too excited and set the target as far as I could, pulled a string with all my might, and tried to keep my cool as the arrow hit the bullseye. Out of nowhere, Chris popped out. Awesome, Gina. Best shot I've ever seen. Impressive, Gina. Wanna grab a drink before you teach me how to do that? Right then, Chris offered me a bottle. You like apple juice, right? I saw you only drink that at the party. Eee! He noticed! Thank you! Would you like a ride back later? Finally, a chance to get closer to Chris. I'll drive you, Gina. I'm more familiar with that route. I was gonna say no, but Patrick had already pulled me away. Why did he ruin my romantic moment? Maybe he liked me too, but I already had my sights set on Chris. Chris seemed to care about me, but it would take a little more for us to actually be a thing. Everything was falling into place, and I felt like I was becoming more outgoing. Though sometimes I still took detours or hid in the restroom to avoid small talks, things with Chris were going well. But the next day, I saw Bailey and Chris locking arms and laughing happily on the street. Are they dating? Then why did Chris keep my hopes up and act like he cared about me? All my efforts were for nothing. Even if I tried to be like Bailey, of course Chris would prefer the original. I glumly went to my room shortly before Bailey, holly jolly as usual, came back. You look awfully happy. Hot date? Nope, not at all. Are we having secrets now? Of course not! Anyway, what are you up to today? Beating around the bush, huh? She's obviously in love with Chris, but why keep it a secret? Just so they could still mess with others' feelings. After that, I refused to talk to Bailey and avoided Chris. Whenever he greeted me, I'd pretend I didn't see him. And if he approached me, I'd go to Patrick or ask him to take me home. It was petty, but what else could I do? In Patrick's car, I got Chris's texts. He probably just wanted to two-time me, so I turned off my phone. Everything okay? Yeah, I'm fine. You're not a very good liar, but I have just the thing to cheer you up. A few minutes later, we pulled up to a quiet spot with a stunning view. But magnificent as the sunset was, I still felt the sadness wash over me. Want to talk about it? And I did. I really did. It felt good to finally get everything off my chest. Patrick listened patiently, nodding in understanding. When I finished, it's already twilight. Thank you for listening to my rant. Sure, anytime. I want to be there for you, Gina, and I would never hurt you. I know you're into Chris, but I really care about you. You're a true hidden gem, and I want to help you be all that you're meant to be. I was surprised. At that moment, Patrick became even more attractive than I'd ever thought. Maybe I should be with someone like him and forget about those toxic people. So, I agreed to date him. The following day, Patrick already made it public. See, that's what a decent guy would do. He took me to the spa, cooked for me, and was always so sweet. I'd never felt this way for anyone, and it actually felt like love. However, it wasn't always peachy being Patrick's girl. He constantly attended tons of events as the student council president and would have me as his +1. On those occasions, Patrick would talk to everyone while I stood awkwardly. I wanted to join, but didn't know how. All right, laughing would totally show that I'm following their conversation, but everyone just stared blankly at me. What's so funny about my grandma's broken hips? Oh, geez, I wanted to dig myself a hole immediately. Soon after, Patrick told me to utilize my archery skills for a fundraising commercial shoot. The pictures went viral, and I became popular. People wanted to befriend me everywhere I went, and it was exhausting. When I told Patrick, he said, "That's good. You'll be the face of this fund, which will help a lot of people, like Katniss Everdeen and the First Rebellion. I'm so proud to have you as my girlfriend. Let's keep this up, okay?" Something about that didn't sit well with me. But isn't this the life I've always been dreaming of? I was so busy with Patrick's plans that I had no time left for myself. I even forgot to write to Grandpa, and it had been a while since I last went to the archery club. Bailey tried to catch up with me, but I still ignored her. We grew further apart, even though we shared a room. The show today was suddenly canceled, so I seized this chance to drop by the archery club. I got more comfortable and liberated with each arrow I shot. I finally felt like myself again. When I was done, I caught Chris staring at me. I was instantly flustered and tried to leave, but Chris followed me. "Gina, I don't even recognize you anymore. It's like you're trying to be someone you're not. Are you really happy?" "You're the fake one. You like social butterflies, don't you? If I stop trying, I'll become invisible again. You just don't like Patrick, and it bothers you that he's my boyfriend." "You're right. I don't like him, but it has nothing to do with this." Not wanting to hear any more of his lies, I just stormed off. But as much as I didn't want to believe Chris, his words got me thinking. I found Bailey waiting for me in our dorm room. She looked a bit timid. "How are things going between you and Patrick? Everything okay?" "Of course. You got a problem with us?" "Can you come with me after school tomorrow? There's something I want to show you." I followed her out of curiosity. Bailey led me to the back of the school, then told me to hide in a corner and wait. Then I saw Patrick. He wrapped his arm around Bailey, who promptly pushed him away. "Come on, I know you've got a thing for me, Bailey." "Why won't you leave me alone? You literally have a girlfriend." "Pfft, Gina, I made that chick who she is. A cash grab to make a quick buck off of. That stupid girl still believes that was actually a fundraiser. I could have picked anyone, but the fact that it bothers Chris when I'm with her was the icing on top. I can't be with that obnoxious weirdo, but you? A magnificent work." I can't take it anymore and bolted towards Patrick and slapped him right across his smug face. "You are the biggest jerk I've ever met." You're the biggest loser I've ever met. You have the magnetism of a towel. Watching you embarrass yourself in front of all my friends is painfully terrible. No wonder they snicker about you behind your back. I dashed away in tears as Bailey scolded him. She caught up to me shortly after. "I'm sorry you had to find out this way. Recently, Patrick started flirting with me. I couldn't go without showing you his true colors." "You can say that because everyone loves you. Even Chris chooses you. And I thought I had a chance with him. It's so unfair. People will never treat introverts like me the way they treat you." "Wait! You like Chris?" Having no energy left to be angry, I slumped down, sobbing. "Listen, I'm sorry that I refused to help you become an extrovert. The reason is, you're already amazing, Gina. Since we were kids, I've always admired you. You're smart, patient, and determined." What? Would you believe me if I said I wanted to be more like you? But then I realized that introverts and extroverts have their own strengths, and we do best when we're ourselves. That's why I am who I am, and you should be none other than yourself. I held back my tears as best as I could and hugged Bailey tightly. "I'm sorry for misunderstanding you. Thank you for telling me what I need to hear." I returned to my room and saw a letter from Grandpa. He asked how I was lately and why I stopped writing to him. He knew living in a new environment would be difficult, but as long as I understood my own worth, I could overcome everything. He finished his letter by saying he'll always love me unconditionally. Tears welled up in my eyes again. Shortly after, Bailey came back all excited. "I have a surprise for you." When we got outside, Chris was already waiting. I was extremely embarrassed and confused to see him. "Gina, from the moment we met at the fair, I haven't stopped thinking about you. I was impressed with your archery skills, but before I knew it, I was charmed by your intelligence, kindness, even your shyness." "Aren't you dating Bailey?" What? Chris is my cousin. He talks about you all the time. I was gonna set you two up, but you were already with someone else. I couldn't believe my ears, and my heart went wild. At that moment, Bailey received another flirty text from Patrick. Ugh! What am I supposed to do with this sleazeball? Well. Could you believe it? Bailey let him hear blindfolded for a surprise. Okay, ready for my present? Patrick was surely surprised to see me aiming right at him. You better come clean about all the cheating you did. It wasn't cheating. You weren't even my girlfriend, loser. Before he could finish, I launched an arrow right above his head. Lucky for you, my aim was just right. But who knows? A loser like me could have missed. Patrick freaked out and literally peed his pants. Then he confessed to all his faults, siphoning off public funds, love scamming for money, which all had been recorded. As soon as the video was posted, Patrick was boycotted and lost his student council president position. He had to switch schools after a week. I finally felt confident in myself and won many archery competitions. During the holiday, I brought Bailey and Chris back home to meet my grandpa and showed him my many trophies. Remember, everyone, be the best version of yourself, and the right person will love the real you. I woke up in shock to find my face covered in bandages. My face! This can't be happening! Right, Callum? Tell me this is not happening! Right after, the doctor entered the room.
Miss, unfortunately, the glass from the car window has caused extensive trauma to your skin.
As the doctor continued talking, I felt myself zone out and began to panic. My face is everything! Without it, my singing career is over!
Ash, it's gonna be okay. I'll help you find a way to return to the stage. I promise.
Hi, I'm Ashley, and I had a dream of becoming a famous singer. I used to sing on the streets to collect a few dimes. Then one day, a handsome and polite man approached me.
I'm Callum, a talent scout, and I believe with your angelic voice and rare beauty, you have the makings of a star.
It was love at first sight, and not only did I gain a manager, but also a hot boyfriend. He arranged for me to perform at cafes, bars, and restaurants. It was nonstop. I enjoyed it, but I had to admit I was also, exhausted. And that's when Callum suggested that I use autotune and lip sync to save my throat.
Babe, I know this ain't right, but you're burned out, and I can't bear seeing that. You know, it's not forever. I think that way you can focus on dressing up and letting people admire that gorgeous face of yours.
Hearing this did make me feel sad, but Callum knew what he was talking about, so I trusted him, while the fire inside me to perform on a professional stage still burned strong. Then one day, he told me some unexpected good news.
No more small gigs. The famous company Dream M Entertainment is holding auditions to find their next big star. I've taken care of everything. You just need to be 100% confident in performing.
This was it. My time to shine has finally come. But then that evening, while driving home and practicing singing, I had an uncontrollable coughing fit. I lost focus of the road for a split second and didn't see the incoming car until everything went dark. And the next thing I knew, I was waking up at the hospital looking like Frankenstein and certain that my big dreams were now in shatters. After 2 months in the hospital, most of my scratches healed, but only a deep cut scar remained on my cheek. Just a few days more until the audition, and I couldn't show up looking like this.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Can makeup cover it? Or maybe a mask?
There must be something. But the doctor said I can't wear makeup until it's fully healed, as it might cause an infection. And if I went on stage in a mask, people would certainly raise questions. Then Callum's eyes suddenly darted to the photo on the shelf.
Ash, here's your answer. Get your sister to be your double until your wound heals.
You mean Bridget? That freak? No way! Yeah, I do have a twin sister, but we aren't close, for sure. My parents divorced when we were 7, and the courts decided I'd live with Dad and Bridget with Mom. I had a great life with Dad, as he bought me any outfit I wanted. But Bridget was a tomboy and didn't care about fashion. The last time I saw her, she was wearing all faded clothes. I guess the whole moody, loner, frown like she's constipated look was her vibe. I tried talking to her at college, but she always snubbed me. And just like that, we ended up being strangers, despite being siblings. And now you say I have to grovel her for help? No!
I get that you guys aren't close, but surely you can put your differences aside for this once-in-a-lifetime chance at your dream?
I suppose Callum has a point, so I agreed.
Only it wasn't that simple, as I didn't have Bridget's number and she refused to use social media. You know, to match her cool, unbothered vibe. Ugh. Hang on. I remember her scowling at me behind the counter at the Yo-Yo fast food once. Perhaps she still worked there? I immediately disguised myself and headed there. Oh, there she is. I started hovering around her and explained what had happened, then asked her if she'd be my double for the audition, but she didn't bother to care. Get out the way. I can't perform looking like this. Please, this is everything to me. It's none of my business. I have work to do. See, I can't just give up like this. So I ordered food and sat there and waited for her to change her mind. It was closing time already. I was about to leave when I saw Bridget and her boss quarreling with each other. My gosh, this is why it's never good to hire teenagers. I only hired you because you begged for the job. I'm sorry, sir. Darn it. Starting today, you will work without pay for 3 months. No, sir, I need money. You didn't even pay me last month. Hey, what are you doing? Go. You can work elsewhere. Don't be here with a scumbag. What? And you? Get lost before I report you to the cops. What you aiming at? Why do you have to work here anyway? Doesn't Mom give you a big enough allowance? Don't pretend like you care. How could a spoiled girl like you ever understand? What do you mean by that? Anyway, you need money, right? I can help you. Bridget didn't answer, but I saw through her Miss Frosty persona. If you replace me until I'm recovered, then I'll pay you. A big check worth 10 times what you're making here. By the way, only 2 of us and my manager know about this, so don't worry. Then I gave her my number and told her to message me when she made a decision. She reluctantly took it, saying nothing, and just left. But that evening, a message from an unknown number popped up. Okay, I'm in. You better pay me right. I immediately called Callum and told him the good news. Now it's time to turn Bridget into a temporary me. Normally, Callum and I keep our relationship low-key to maintain professionalism. And that's the same now. We're keeping it a secret with Bridget. Callum made it clear to Bridget that all she needed to do was to look pretty and lip-sync. But geez, that girl could only moan. This crop is too tight and constricting. Stop scratching like a monkey. I showed her how to stand straight and walk like a diva. And it shocked me when she said she'd never heard of skincare. No wonder her skin was as dry as the Sahara Desert, and her pores were as deep and large as black holes. No worries. The witches here will give you a magic transformation. Wow! She looked exactly like me, just without the wound. Even Callum was impressed. He instantly offered to help her into the car and drive her to the audition. I guess it made sense for Callum to keep her on our side. Now is not the time for stupid jealousy, Ashley. I disguised myself as Bridget's assistant and nervously waited backstage. The audition was such a nightmare. Bridget's lip-syncing didn't match the pre-recorded audio, and she danced like she had 2 left feet. Finally, the performance ended, and the first judge to comment was David Knight, aka the music wizard, master composer, and lord of melodies. Oh, I know this guy. He's sure a demigod in real life. Your singing was dismal, and your dancing was catastrophic. Did you get lost looking for the bathroom and wander on stage by accident? Having a pretty face isn't enough to keep you here. The judge sitting next to David suddenly grabbed the mic. Wait, he's the CEO of Dream M. You're wrong, David. Beauty is also talent. She's a diamond in the rough, and only needs a little polishing to shine. After the show, Callum was overjoyed as he informed Bridget that she'd become a talent at Dream M and would soon become an A-lister. I was so excited too that I flung my arms around Bridget, but she coldly pushed me away. Enough for today. Since then, the 3 of us agreed that Bridget would perform on stage while I would record at the studio. The bad side was about putting up with David, the difficult judge at the audition who was in charge of my recording session. The only thing going for you is your face, so I hide it behind that mask. If you must know, I didn't have time to apply any makeup. Satisfied much? Sorry, what you say? It was too early in the day to deal with such a jerk, so I stayed silent and focused on the session. Your singing has improved significantly since the audition. It just still lacks some emotion. Thanks. My debut was just days away, but things didn't go so well. Bridget had no sense of style and appeared in the fashion column Worst Dressed lists, shaking like a leaf on stage and jumbling her words when facing impromptu interviews. So I had to set up a crash course for Bridget, but this time I taught her simple, easy-to-remember things instead of big stuff like last time. I showed her how to pair basic outfits, how to deal with a press, and most importantly, I still guaranteed her regular pay. Ash, you've helped me a lot, and thanks. Oh my, she was so awkward. But that was sweet. I could gradually feel that we were actually sisters.
Bridget, the main effort was still yours. Keep it up.
Soon, the company began to promote Bridget, and her reputation skyrocketed. All the while, my relationship with Callum took a nosedive. At previous events, Callum used to pamper me and bring me my favorite foods, but now he just brought Bridget's favorites. He never left her side, and they were always having cozy chats. So one day, I decided to talk straight to him about this. Callum, I have to admit that I feel kinda uncomfortable, as you're a bit too close to Bridget.
Babe, I got you. I have to pretend I'm with Bridget as everyone thinks she's you. I'm doing this for your own good, so stop overthinking. Will you do it for me?
I know, but I really feel insecure since I got this scar. It's like I've lost everything.
Don't worry, the scar will eventually heal. The most important thing right now is you stay calm and get through this time.
Right. I suddenly forgot that I was working for a greater goal. I tried convincing myself that they were just dedicated to their work and that my wound would be healed soon, and I could go back to being me. I still go to the hospital every week for follow-up and treatment. It's faded, hasn't it? I needed to escape, so I went to the studio to sing my heart out. I was certain no one would be there at this time of night, but turned out I was wrong. Surprisingly, on seeing me, that dude didn't shoo me away. Instead, he was actually pleasant.
A night owl too, huh? Start singing then. I'll give you my valuable opinions.
I was shocked by this approachability, but I rolled with it. David was many things, but there was no denying he was extraordinarily talented that made huge hits. I sang, and he gave me some useful tips and pointers.
I believed you'd be too haughty to listen to my guidance, but it turns out I was mistaken.
Well, I found you annoying at first, but I appreciate your help and I value your feedback. It seems there's actually a nice guy behind the ogre front.
Sorry, what you say?
I won't say it twice. Then I started humming a few lines from a song I'd written, but didn't realize I was singing it out loud until it was too late.
That song is good. Whose is it?
Actually, I wrote it. No need to be mocking.
No, I'm not at all. I didn't know you had a talent for songwriting. Come here, let me hear the whole song.
So we sat down together, and surprisingly, our vibe matched each other perfectly. Actually, you're the first person to take my ability seriously.
Sorry?
Hey, stop pretending!
Actually, I'm not
Gradually, Bridget seemed to figure out how to act like me, and her popularity grew. She was no longer sluggish and paid more attention to her appearance. Even Callum mentioned how he could only distinguish us by my wound. From then on, Callum said Bridget could do it herself, so they went to the shows without me. This feeling is making me squirm. On the one hand, I want Bridget to do well to help me out. On the other hand, I'm also feeling a bit resentful that I was replaced so easily. I also miss the way Callum used to care about me, but I remember what he said the other day, and I know I shouldn't be acting like a child. So I tried to distract myself by doing what I love the most, singing. Everybody was packed with Bridget's show, so this world is mine. Woohoo! I was in the studio practicing my new song when suddenly David barged in.
Can you explain to me why you're here whilst also performing on TV live?
Why are you here?
Does it even matter now? Who really are you?
I begged him to keep quiet. Then I frantically took my mask off and told him everything. I mean, everything. As I was too shocked to make any excuses.
This is insane.
I know it isn't right, but I promised once my wound healed, everything would go back to normal. Singing is everything to me. David remained silent for a while, then blurted out,
All right, if what you said is true, I will keep your secret. And one more thing. If you really like singing and songwriting, I can continue to help you. What do you say?
Yes, totally, yes.
And don't you dare lie to me. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, swear to God. Finally, it was the follow-up day. As the doctor finished the examination, I saw him frown.
I'm sorry to inform you that the scar cut's too deep. It may fade over time, but I'm afraid it won't go completely. At least in 2 years.
I broke down. This couldn't be happening. Not knowing what else to do, I decided to go and find Callum. But when I arrived at his house, I saw that he wasn't alone. Bridget and Callum were sitting together and slowly leaning for a kiss. Hello, my name is Dixie, and I have quite a peculiar story for you today. Shout out to Animated Story Show for telling my life story, so please like and subscribe to the channel. I used to have a perfect life. My mom is a lawyer for a top law firm, and she's rarely home, but my dad works from home. And together, we were the best team. And Dixie keeps running, and oh, can she make it? Whew! Yes, she does!
Woohoo! And she shoots and she scores!
Oh my god, what is going on here? Today is our father-daughter tournament. And guess who's winning? Well, this tournament is over. David, you cannot continue to raise our child like a rascal. Clean this place up and come help me make dinner, Dixie. My mom was a total killjoy. At dinner, I was excited to discuss my upcoming birthday with my mom and dad. I finally wrote down what I want. There's only one thing on the list. We have talked about this. You are not getting a sister. But why? Pretty please, Mom. I promise I will help with the baby, and I will even stop playing.
No, we are not having any more kids. Write something else on your list.
But Mom, it's all I want.
Then want something else. Come on, baby. There must be something else you want. A baby is quite a tall order.
If you guys don't give me a sister, I'm going to go on a hunger strike until you listen to me.
Suit yourself. Oh, I'm too tired for this. Now let me have my dinner in peace.
Of course she wouldn't care, even if I starve myself. I went upstairs and screamed into my pillow. My mom was so impossible.
Hey, honey, are you good?
Your wife is killing me.
Come on, baby, cut her some slack. Having a baby is a big deal, and it might not be a good time for your mom and me because of work and, something else.
What else? Of course, work is more important to her than us.
Your mom might work a lot, but trust me, she loves you. And I have the perfect gift for your birthday. It is going to be amazing and better than a crying baby.
I doubt that, but we will see. A few weeks later, on the eve of my 14th birthday, everything fell apart. I was in my room when I heard commotion downstairs. It must be Dad setting up decorations. But then I heard Dad and Mom yelling at each other, so I ran downstairs to see Mom sitting in the dark. Mom, why are you sitting here alone? Where's Dad? And why didn't he do my decorations?
Honey, there is no easy way to tell you this, but your dad left us. We have been having issues for a while, and I tried to keep us together, baby, believe me. I tried, but he walked away.
Liar! Liar! You are lying! My dad will never do that! I will call him right now, and he will tell me that you are lying! But Mom wasn't lying. I called every day for weeks, and Dad never picked up the phone. He was really gone. I couldn't believe it. How could he leave me without a goodbye? As if things weren't bad enough, my mother walked into my room one day wearing the most ridiculous country outfit.
We are moving to the countryside.
What? To the countryside? Why?
I figured that being here in this house might be too much. And if we are going to heal, we need a fresh start. New job, new home, new life. And it's summertime, so you have plenty of time to settle before school starts.
I am not leaving. What if Dad comes back for me?
He will not.
I don't believe you. You're just trying to take me far away from him.
Pack your things. We're leaving today.
Mark my words. I will not move. I will not. But of course, Mom's way or the highway.
Honey, there is something I need to tell you about this place. Where we're going is my home. It's the place I grew up.
Huh? You never talk about your home, and now all of a sudden we are moving there?
I know it's weird, but it's a long story. But believe me, you will understand soon. And you're finally going to meet my sister, Rose.
Sister? You have a sister and never told me? God, do I really know anything about you?
Oh, well, we're here.
I looked up and I saw the whole farm spreading in front of my eyes.
And that's Rose, your aunt.
A woman almost as beautiful as my mother stood in the driveway holding a rake. I could immediately sense that she didn't like us.
Well, look who it is. Why are you here? This is my home, Rose. I don't need to explain anything to you. Home! Please don't make me laugh. Your husband leaves and you remember that you have a home. That's rich.
Hi, Auntie Rose. I'm excited to meet you.
Sure.
She just walked away and continued shoving hay. Rude. But Auntie Rose was more than rude. She was cruel. She never spoke to my mom and me. She always pretended like we didn't exist. And to make it worse, I tried to ask Mom what happened between them, but she refused to tell me. Adults. Feeling a little suffocated one day, I took a walk to the lake when I felt something like a rock hit me. Ugh! What in the coconuts was that?
Oh, so sorry. I didn't see you coming. I'm Callum, and you must be Dixie.
Huh? How do you know who I am?
This is a little town. We know everyone. So, how are you finding life away from the big city?
It's horrible. Can't wait for my dad to come take me away from here.
Yeah, about that, I'm really sorry. My dad left too, so I understand how you feel.
Listen, I don't know who you are or what you think you know, but my dad didn't leave me, okay? He's just tied up with work.
Okay, don't walk away. I'm sorry. Come on, let's see who can skip rocks the farthest.
I was so angry at this Callum guy and the rest of the stupid town for thinking my dad left. But the thought of going back to the Cold War at home, I'd much rather stay with him. Turned out Callum was a breath of fresh air, and soon we started spending more time together. One night, I was sleeping in my room when my mother walked into my room.
Hey, honey, I know that so much of this has been difficult for you, so I brought someone to help. Meet Summer, your adopted sister.
I couldn't believe it. For the first time in forever, I ran and hugged my mom. Thank you so much. I finally have a sister, a forever friend. Yes, we are going to be best friends, sister. Summer was just 1 year younger than me, but she was so energetic and full of adventure. Every morning, she would leave the room before I woke up to explore the grounds, and late at night, she would tell me all the tales of her adventure during the day. Best of all, Summer also didn't like Auntie Rose's attitude one bit. So at night, we would badmouth Rose behind our back until we fell asleep. It was so satisfying. I saw you with Callum today. Hubba, he is so cute. Is he your boyfriend? Ew, no, we're just friends. Okay, if you say so. Guess what I did today? I left the barn doors open, and I'm sure all the animals have escaped by now. What? Summer, why would you do that? Because Rose has been rude to us. All she cares about is those animals. And let's see what she does when the animals are all gone. Christ, that's terrible, Summer. Please don't do that ever again. Auntie Rose is going to be so mad at you. Almost as if it was on cue, I heard a barge on my door. Summer jumped and hid behind me. You rat! How dare you! I know you let the animals get out. You are so lucky I got there on time. If not, what? Rose, how dare you threaten my child? Tell your little nuisance to stay away from my property, or I will deal with her. I could feel Summer shivering behind me, so I had to be a big sister and protect her. Auntie Rose, I am very sorry. It will never happen again. Auntie Rose just huffed and walked away. Phew, that was close. But after they all left my room, Summer started laughing. I warned her to never play silly pranks again, but I just knew that she would not listen to me. The next time I hung out with Callum, I told him what happened. Summer keeps playing pranks on Auntie Rose. I'm worried she's going to make Mom and Auntie Rose fight even more.
Well, maybe she's just trying to adjust, and it's her own way of acting out.
She has to get over it quickly because bitter Auntie Rose doesn't play.
What's Summer like, by the way?
She's sweet, but she's always busy going on her wildest adventures. When I got home that day, my mom and Auntie Rose were in a shouting match.
I know my child, and she didn't do this. You can be mad at me all you want, but don't accuse my child of something she didn't do. Someone keyed my car. It's you, Dixie, isn't it?
I didn't do it.
I told you. Is this why you came here? To torture me? Haven't you done enough? After all these years, I can't believe that you came back to continue to cause me pain. Rose, please no.
Then Mom started to cry too. Can you please tell me what happened between you guys? Enough with the secrecy.
When Rose and I were teenagers, she had a piggy bank where she saved money to get out of this place and start her life somewhere new. She never wanted to stay in the small town, but then one day, your grandparents expected me to take over the farm, and I panicked. So I stole her piggy bank, got on a train, and left. And because I left, Rose was stuck here with a farm. Ugh, I hate that I hurt my sister, but I don't regret it. If I didn't leave, I wouldn't have met your dad, and I wouldn't have had you.
Oh my God! I can't believe you did that! That's why she hates us! You ruined her life!
I know! That's why I came back. I want to fix things, but everyone I love hates me. Your dad, you, and my sister. Maybe I am just a terrible person.
What you did was terrible, but you are not terrible, Mom. But you have to apologize to Auntie Rose and do whatever it takes to make it up for her. I was happy Mom admitted her wrongdoing and wanted to make amends after all. So we all had a heart-to-heart conversation when Mom finally had the courage to apologize to Auntie Rose. She was still mad at first, but then...
You know I resented you for many years, but because you left me with a farm, I realized how much I loved the land and eventually found my spiritual healing here. So in a way, I have to say thank you, and sorry for being mean to you.
We all shared a warm embrace. It felt so good to be a family again. When I got back to my room, I was glad to see Summer there. Oh, thank God you're here. Where have you been the whole day? Busy wandering around plotting my new prank on Rose. You have to stop messing with Auntie Rose right now. She and Mom actually patched things up. Then I told her everything, but to my surprise, no, messing with her is fun, and I like it. If you don't stop, I'm going to tell everyone. You can try, but no one would believe you. I am the cute and cuddly one. Summer, why can't we just get along? Why do you have to break my heart, just like everyone else? Ask yourself. Don't put that onto me. I was so furious. What type of sister from hell was this? But she was right. No one was going to believe me unless I caught her in the act. But before I could do anything, I got carried away with the work at the farm. One day, Callum and I were helping Mom in the storage house when Auntie Rose ran in. Someone destroyed the chicken coop, ran a tractor into it.
What?
That was it. I know who did it. It was Summer. She is the one who has been doing all of it, not me. I tried to take the fall for her and talk her out of it, but she is not listening to me. Rose looked at me like I was insane.
You are a terrible liar. I know you did this. I have proof.
She pulled out a video, and I felt like I was being sucker punched. It was me. I was driving the tractor. Then I crashed it and started laughing hysterically. No, that's not possible. I didn't do that. Summer did. Summer did all of it. I tried to fix it so Auntie Rose could forgive Mom, but she got upset with me and started doing more daring stuff. Sometimes I found her pranks and fixed them before you saw them, but I couldn't get it all. At this point, everyone was staring at me with so much concern in their eyes.
Honey, who is Summer?
Summer, my sister, the one you adopted.
I didn't do that. You have no sister. Wait, I think I know what is happening. It makes sense now. Dixie, Summer is not real. You made her up.
That's not true. You know her.
I don't, actually. I never met her. Oh, my poor baby. You need help.
I am not insane.
It's okay, sweetheart. It's okay.
Mom and Auntie Rose then drove me to the hospital, where I would be given therapy. Callum also came with us and sat with me in the waiting room. I can't even trust my brain again. I don't even know what's real anymore. Did I also imagine you too, Callum?
No, you didn't. I am real, Dixie, and I will be here with you every step of the way.
Right then, Mom and Auntie Rose came back after talking to the therapist.
Dixie, honey, I'm so sorry for not listening to you and your needs for so long. I knew you always wanted a sister, but I never took you seriously. It was my fault. If I had been there for you, listened to you, and hadn't been so controlling and distant to you, things might have been different. But now I promise I will always be here with you, and you're going to be okay. I promise.
What about Summer?
You don't need Summer. You have us. All of us.
No one told me it's this windy up here. I'll probably be wiped off of Earth before I could wipe all these windows. It's okay, Harper. Remember, you're doing this for Aaron. Just a bit of tough work for now, but imagine the incredible time you'll be having at the concert. Imagine, oh my God, Aaron and her? Hold up, let's start from the top. Hi, I'm Harper, the biggest fan of the greatest boy band, The Statics, especially their rapper Aaron. I turned 18 not long ago and I'm taking a gap year to find my true passion. To be honest, I'm not really interested in anything. The only thing that makes me feel alive right now is fangirling, following my boys around, concerts, touring, etc. But after months of that, I'm totally broke. Not to mention, Aaron's having his solo debut album. So, having no choice, I asked my super sweet boyfriend Kirk to lend me some money. But, again, all you ever did was spend relentlessly on this trash. You don't study, nor get a job.
How are you expecting to afford it all? Do these idols feed you or give you a roof over your head? I don't think so. I can't help you forever either.
Trash? He called my passion trash? Excuse me, I asked for a loan. Not like I was robbing him. He wasn't like this the other times. Finally showing his true self, huh? Fine, I don't need an unsupportive boyfriend. Anyone that stands between me and my happiness can get lost. So, we're over.
Whatever.
But wait, I still need to come inside as Kyra's bestie, not as your girlfriend. You might be wondering what kind of relationships I have going on here. Well, I actually befriended Kyra first. We were both ecstatic. Fandom of the Statics. If you know, you know. Fangirls bond is stronger than any friendship. Her mom works for a big press, so she sometimes could even get us access to shows. Cool, right? So I was always around her place. One thing led to another. Me and her brother fell in stupid love, but not anymore. Have you heard about Erin's new album? Apparently it will be followed by a group concert right downtown New York. We can ask Kirk to give us a ride. It will be super fun. Oh, don't want to burst your bubble, but I just broke up with Kirk. 4 minutes, 36 seconds ago? No way! Yes way! I told her how ridiculous her brother was, but she still tried to find excuses for him, hoping to mend us back together. But sorry, this heart of mine has casted the dice. It's entirely dedicated to Erin now. No more dumb boyfriend. And that's how I ended up taking on this dangerous job. Its high salary could get me boxes of albums and a concert ticket even. But what am I getting instead? My beloved idol, arms in arms with a singer I hate the most on earth, Bianca. Erin and Bianca rushed to the window and dragged me inside.
Please don't let anyone know this. What do you want? Autograph? VIP ticket?
Please, you probably know our two fandoms are like water and oil. They already opposed us so badly over a collab last time. Yeah, of course I know, because I was the one who opposed. Seriously, what does Erin see in this girl? She always says controversial stuff, gets caught in dating rumors with all guys on Earth, parties 24/7, and her songs suck. But on a second thought, it's not every day to have the two hottest celebrities on their knees before me like this. Maybe I should act wisely. Either way, this is the lifetime opportunity for me stepping into Erin's life, isn't it? Okay, I'll keep a secret on one condition. Let me be the manager of Bianca.
Bianca's manager? Who's looking for me? Wait, who are you?
But he didn't even bother to wait for my answer and started stacking out bunches of stuff for Bianca to sign.
Being a manager ain't a joke. See, Will's been doing this for years and still struggling.
Well then, more reason for me to step in. So I walked over to give him a hand. This poster is mid. Next time, let me handle it. Trust me, I've designed countless stuff for fan events. The title track this time is a bop, but without a good promotion, it turned into a flop. I suggest you make some TikTok challenge for it. I'm a girl Bianca's age. I for sure understand her and the fans more than you. I'll be useful. Right, guys? Yeah, sure.
She has a point, Will. You do need an assistant.
Right then, Will had a phone call. Seemed urgent. After hanging up, he turned to me.
Fine. It's true that I'm overloaded. I have to check stuff at the venue right now, but Bianca has schedules at the radio station in an hour. Can you get her there?
Sir, yes, sir. Just like that, I helped Will around, and it's safe to say I was basically Bianca's sub-manager. Life was pretty sweet. I got to tag along to shows for free, while keeping an eye on my love rival. I sure enjoyed playing God with my new puppet. Everything Bianca eats has to get my approval. Bye-bye, yummy tacos and burgers. She's only allowed to use the phone at certain times of the day. Stop texting boys and start working on your terrible music, honey. Then tell those annoying boys to stop bothering me. Even her sleep is strictly fixed, just because I love seeing her suffer. And I make sure her schedule is packed. Vocal training, dance practice, filming content. Girl, you have a lot to work on. But on days where she worked with the Statics, I'd let her off a little. Still, that doesn't mean these two could flirt under my nose. Seriously? It's like you guys are begging to get caught. Think about your future. This dumb fling won't matter a bit the day your career's on the edge of failing, won't it? Ha! I'd make a good manager, right? But I occasionally saw Liam, another member of Statics, being way too chatty with Bianca. Well, as long as it's not my Erin. But I know someone who wouldn't like this. Kyra, as Liam's her bias. I guess the rumors are true. Liam is a playboy.
And to prevent Aaron from getting caught in the same thing, I accidentally arranged Bianca's schedule to be 100% off with Aaron's, so they couldn't meet up. But Bianca still asked me to bring him gifts often, and surprisingly, Aaron wasn't too upset about his girlfriend not showing up. I guess I can get him in another level that Bianca couldn't. We soon talk a lot and hang out also, and he literally blurted out about how Bianca was so uptight, how some of her annoying habits gave him the ick, and that being with me was so much more comfortable. Uh-oh, sounds like love's fading. On the other hand, Bianca was extra upset that they still couldn't date on their anniversary. Not on me, though. Aaron himself didn't want to see her and made excuses about how paparazzi had been up on his grill because he's been doing so well lately. But Bianca has had enough with this all. She wanted to go public. I heard her talking to Aaron on the phone about it. No, that's not gonna happen. I have to be a step ahead. I immediately searched for a photo, then posted it anonymously on a fan forum. If Aaron goes public with anyone, it's gotta be me. But oh boy, maybe I've not thought this through. What was I even thinking? The next day, the internet went crazy and it's all negative comments. Thankfully, Aaron's side has spoken up and calmed it down by fabricating a story about how this was from a long time ago. And it was his first love, blah blah. Anything, as long as things go down. I haven't even finished my sigh of relief, then out of nowhere, Aaron's stomping into our studio looking furious. R.I.P. me.
Bianca, have you lost your mind? I told you I did not agree. Why did you post our photo? Are you trying to sabotage me? Sorry that you don't have a career so you can act careless all you want. But I do. I have my reputation and an army of stupid fangirls to please.
I was frozen, as well as Bianca. Right then, a call came from Kyra. I swiftly sneaked out to take it. It's you, right? The lucky girl in the photo? I can tell by just one look. Last time we talked, you only mentioned seeing Bianca in real life or something. When did Aaron come into the picture? How could you not tell me? I was dumbfounded, didn't know how to handle this. I mumbled out a few words so Kyra would keep this a secret and that we'd talk later. Okay, gotcha. But then help me meet my Liam, please. What? No, trust me, he's a player. They all are. Get over him. So Kyra recognized me that easily, but why Aaron didn't? He even mistook me with his so-called girlfriend, Bianca. That picture was also taken at the secret balcony of his penthouse that he swore he'd never taken anyone there before. Having too much on my mind, I wandered to his place, but ran into Liam? He's talking to a girl. She wiped her tears, then left. I should get going. Don't want to mess with another player right now. Harper! What? Don't worry, I won't tell anyone about that 400th girlfriend of yours.
Correct, it's the 400th girlfriend, but not of mine.
Turns out that girl's also a victim of Aaron the Heartbreaker, not Liam. Liam has always been the one who's cleaning after his mess, making sure the girls are all right and won't do anything harmful to the band's reputation.
Probably that's why the public labeled me as the player. I always got caught up with these heartbroken girls. And now you.
What do you mean? I'm okay.
Come on, I know you also got tangled in Aaron's love web. I'm sorry, I could have warned you earlier. I've been trying to hint it to Bianca, but the girl was too head over heels for him.
I felt so stupid for thinking I could live that fantasy of being Aaron's girl so easily. All this time, we all blindly put Aaron on a pedestal, while letting Liam be wrongly accused of all the things he never did. Through Liam, I found out that the Statics has been having a problem. Aaron wanted to leave the group because he thought they're a burden and he'd do better on his own. But the rest knew that it would break the fans' heart if one of them left. So they've compromised by letting Aaron have a solo album while still staying with a group. Oh no, kick that jerk out now. As a representative of Ecstatic, I can assure you that we won't be sad if we know what an awful person he is. We'll show him the door.
Glad to hear that. Now, about Bianca, do you know how to break this to her in the best way?
It's hard, but ugly truth is the only way. So the next day, we went to see Bianca together, told her all about how much of a jerk Aaron is, all the girls he's been seeing, all the bad-mouthing about her, he said. Surprisingly, she took it better than we thought. Thank you, too, for looking out for me. I know he's bad, but I thought I'd been able to change him. But yesterday when he came throwing a fit at me, I realized that I deserved better. Oh, poor Bianca. I really owe her a zillion apologies. I asked Liam to give us a minute and came clean to her on everything. On the photo I posted, on how I intentionally got in between the relationship, on my dumb rules just to get the better of her. I'm truly sorry. I'm just a Delulu fangirl after all. I'm really sad to hear that because at some point I did consider you a friend, especially your ridiculous rules. It helped me a lot. Look, you kept me on a strict diet, helped me get a healthy sleep schedule, made me practice more, stay off my phone, no more doom scrolling and obsessing over hateful comments. I can assure that you've helped me become a better artist and human overall, even though it's by accident. You are seriously too nice. How come I spent all these years hating on you? I'm sorry, and I don't think I should be around here anymore. I'd better go back to my normal life. Take care, Bianca. Bianca gave me a tight hug and said that she hoped I'd still come to her concert next week, as she'd perform the dance number we created together. Liam was nice enough to accompany me to Bianca's concert. I did ask Kyra if she wanted to come along, but she was all cranky. Bianca's concert? Are you an ecstatic anymore, Harper? She's our enemy. Kiddo, if only she could see past the hate. She could have met her Liam now. The show was going on smoothly. Bianca perfected our dance routine. I was so proud. But as she went to get ready for the next song, a strange VCR got played. I'm a selfish fanatic. A friend's betrayal, a gold digger, a delulu, and on screen were pictures of me. No! Is this why Bianca insisted I come? Is this her paying back? Or is this Aaron's? Or Liam's? Suddenly, Bianca on the mic snapped me out of the panic attack. And I'm all the worst things without your love. Ladies and gentlemen, your favorite track from my second album, here's Without You. Everyone cheered loudly, but a voice behind me took me aback. No, guys! That's not what the video's about! The lunatic is here! This one! Oh my god! Liam! Liam quickly shushed her and we dragged her outside. Turned out my dearest sister from another mother did this to me. Why? I hate you. I know everything now. Don't forget who I am. Nothing in this fandom could be hidden from me. You got to befriend the boys but ghosted me because you want them all to yourself, huh? After everything we've been through, all the shows my mom helped you get in, you bewitched Aaron, sided with Bianca, then called my Liam a player. But look who you're with now. On top of that, you dumped my brother for a stupid reason. The player here is you. This is a mess, and it's really my fault. I should have filled Kyra in on everything sooner. Seeing her right now reminds me of the exact same person I was just last week. The same hot-headed, immature fan. I couldn't blame her. I apologized and told her everything. And with her dearest Liam's help, Kyra, though still mad, started to be more understanding. I love you, and I hope you will soon see things the way I do now. Idols are also humans. They're not all glitters and gold, so we can't expect them to be all perfect, then refuse to see their wrongdoings, or nitpicking trivial things just because it's not up to our expectations. Let's both be a better ecstatic from now, okay? It's been 6 months since then. I can say that things are definitely for the better now. It's the first performance of the Static since they parted ways with Aaron after his real face got exposed. Yes, that happened. Now look, it seems like the crowd has no problem with dumping that troublemaker either. And me? Normally I'd be here as an ecstatic, but not today. I'm now working part-time while studying to get proper certification on talent management. I realized that I did enjoy working with Bianca and I actually had a knack for it, so I'm going to make a career out of it. Now, excuse me guys, may I get my manager back? It's showtime. Bye!
Hi, I'm Miley Cyrus. You've probably heard some of my songs like Wrecking Ball, The Climb, and Flowers from my latest chart-topping album, Endless Summer Vacation, although my most loyal fans have known me since my Disney Channel days. This story isn't about me though. Today I'm narrating the life of a young star from the South, just like me. I'll tell you why later. For now, please like and subscribe. I know all about being famous at a young age, and trust me, no glory comes without blood, sweat, and tears, and Scarlett Spencer was no exception. Her journey to stardom began in a small town in Texas. Her mother passed away long ago. Still, she grew up happily with her dad who owned a little diner, and her baby sister Naomi. These two were polar opposites. The quiet, introverted Scarlett helped out at the diner, while Naomi, who was in high school, lived and breathed social media. Give me a phone, mine's out of juice. Man, this brick's been only to call and text for years. It should have something new. In case you still haven't figured it out, well, Naomi's creating an Instagram account under her sister's name to post pics. Give it back! I need it now! Naomi, I already said I don't like social media. What's with this photo and the Ritz-Carlton and ridiculous caption? We were just there for Dad's delivery. Relax. Everybody has a social media presence these days. That photo will get you tons of hearts and followers. Honestly, if my sister ever did that to me, she would have been 6 feet under by now. But Scarlett let Naomi off the hook, because to her, Naomi was her bestest friend, who she could tell everything to, while Scarlett was the best sister she could ask for. Naomi knew she'd never find anyone else who'd satisfy her every whim like that. They frequented this spot by the lake for a stroll, a jog, or simply pouring their hearts out. I want to go where culture is, like New York or LA. The only thing exciting in this town is probably a party bus that comes by every millennium. You're a big dreamer, and that's good, but isn't a peaceful and quiet life nice too? Bless their hearts. They have no idea what's in store for them, but it's really hard to imagine that their uneventful lives could change. All of a sudden, when their dad got in an accident and lost his job, with no relatives, the family was dealt the worst hand. Scarlett alone couldn't manage the diner, Dad's medical bill, as well as Naomi. Then one day, their dad set them down, looking seriously insistent.
I know that this is a lot to take in, but your mother, she's still alive. This is her.
What?
We got divorced and cut all ties long ago. I never spoke of it 'cause it's too complicated. Now that your old man is in this situation, you should go to your mother and shouldn't have to suffer because of me.
Both of them were too shocked to speak. Scarlett went to her room, the photo squeezed tightly in her hand.
Is this really my mother?
When are we leaving?
What are you excited about? All we have is this address and her photo. What if she won't accept us as her daughters? She abandoned us all those years, remember?
It's still worth a try. Do you know, I've lost count how many times I've wished for a mother, and then this happened, like a miracle. Scarlett tossed and turned all night because of what her father revealed just now, while Naomi thought long and hard about what she would wear. The next morning, the sisters got up early and went to the address on the note, which led them to a magnificent building, Elite Talent Management. They stepped inside with bewilderment written all over their faces.
Excuse me, we're looking for Mrs. Athena Kinsley?
Perfect timing. Miss Kinsley's here this week for our statewide audition. In fact, she's right behind you. They were both in awe to see a woman who exudes sophistication and confidence. Naomi rushed to her.
Excuse me, ma'am, are you Athena Kinsley?
The woman gracefully turned around, lowered her shades, and scanned them both from head to toe.
Hello, I'm Naomi Spencer, and this is my sister Scarlett. We, believe you're our mother. Does the name Joseph Spencer ring any bell to you? He's our dad. He told us to come find Mom. You.
That was awkward, but they got a reaction out of the Ice Queen. She was shooketh, but quickly regained composure. You two, come with me. Clear my schedule. The girls followed her with uncertainty. When they reached the elevator, everyone inside immediately got out. Some of them even bowed to her. During the elevator ride, Scarlett and Naomi looked at each other in confusion about this lady who's supposedly their mother. Athena got down to business as soon as the door closed. I thought your father wanted you to forget that I existed. But here you are. Start talking. While Scarlett talked, Naomi looked around Athena's office with great excitement. Her eyes lit up when she saw a photo of Athena with Beyoncé.
Did you work with Beyoncé?
Yes, she's still one of my clients. Miley Cyrus, Jennifer Lawrence, Britney Spears. I've worked with all of them. Surprise! The truth's finally out. I actually agreed to tell this story to return a favor Athena did for me when I parted ways with Disney. Rough times, but totally worth it. Okay, continue.
As I was saying, Dad needs physical therapy and a private nurse, but we can afford neither. He needs your help. Mom?
This is the first time we've spoken in so long, and you're just asking for money? I'm afraid it can't be that easy.
Really? This is our father, your ex-husband. Jeez, why did I even bother coming here asking the person who abandoned us for help? Naomi, we're leaving.
Sit down. I didn't say no, but I won't hand you a huge bag of cash for nothing. Instead, you can work for it. You do have a pretty face and quite a feisty character, and I have everything you'd need to get far in this business. How does that sound? That took a turn, but Naomi was even more surprised than I am. Why isn't Mom asking her, but only her sister? Her introverted anti-social media sister?
No thanks. I want a nice, breezy life and zero limelight. We'll figure something out. Without you!
On their way home, Naomi kept nagging Scarlett for refusing a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
She left us. That was the first time we met after so long, yet she didn't fake a smile and even try to exploit us. Can't you see that?
No! You assume she abandoned us. Dad kept her a secret all these years, so we must have lied about that too. Mom's offer is a win-win deal. Don't you see how respected she is? Despite seeing Naomi's point, Scarlett was still stubborn. The way I see it, they don't have much time to argue, because right at that moment, their dad was having a heart attack. Luckily, the girls arrived home right on time and brought him to the ER. After hours in the ICU, his condition became stable, but needed further observation. Scarlett's face got paler with every word the doctor said about her father's treatment. I'm no accountant, but this bunch of hospital bills surely sounds bad. Sis, Mom's office still stands. Do something before it's too late. Scarlett reluctantly came to see Athena again. Before signing, Scarlett had a few demands. She'd receive a fair cut of the profit and will not owe Athena anything once the contract is no longer in effect, as well as a signing advance. Also, per contract, Athena would be Scarlett's manager. This is actually very common. My mom Tish has been my manager to this day, but that's me. I can't talk about her case. Scarlett immediately transferred her dad to the best hospital in Texas. Looking at his unconscious state, she got all the motivation she needed before leaving for the city, thoughts about her future swirling in her mind. From the start, Scarlett said she didn't want anyone to know they're related. Athena, being the professional she was, agreed. Then, Operation Ultimate Fashionista commenced. First off, an extensive daily workout for 3 hours with a personal trainer. Scarlett was used to physical labor, so she didn't break a sweat. But when she found out about the strict diet she had to follow, Scarlett realized she's in hell. What's wrong with you? You make me work out but don't let me eat? Silly girl. Don't you know the camera's at 10 pounds? You'll look like a manatee in your photos unless you lose weight. Almost forgot. Scarlett moved into Athena's mansion for her private training, while Naomi stayed home for school. At the moment, Scarlett was lonely on an empty stomach. I can understand how she's feeling, because I went through the same ordeal when I started touring at age 13. Scarlett decided to sneak out in the middle of the night to search for food. However, Athena was one step ahead and already locked the pantry. Hey, sis, you caught me in the middle of my midnight supper. Oh my god, this food is bussin'. Anyway, how's Dad? I can't hear you. What's the weird noise? The sound of my pain and suffering. Watching you mukbang sure made it worse. Bye! And I'm sick of this food and this life. I need to find out how I can move to the city. Meanwhile, poor Scarlett could only sleep off her hunger, as she had to be up at 6 for training. Show business doesn't only demand talent and looks, but also the ability to handle being in the public eye. Sometimes you're a slip of tongue away from fading into oblivion. Media training was invented so we can learn to be public figures. That entire morning was spent on correcting Scarlett's posture, walk, and mannerisms. One more time, action! Hi, besties! Get ready with me to go to a ball! Stop! What now? Your accent. It's too distracting. Should we get rid of it? Perhaps tone it down a bit. It'll make her stand out. But we don't want too many risks. Risks? This is how I talk! Not anymore. That's enough for today. Thanks for coming in. Scarlett, of course, had no say in any of this. Now Athena's the one driving, and Scarlett's only in the passenger seat. Is she trying to make me a star or a slave? Can't she at least not look like Grumpy Cat and sound like a dictator all the time? Geez, I have to learn strange stuff and change so much about myself. There's nothing wrong with my waiter accent. What's all this for? Sis, everyone who wants to be famous has to learn everything you just said. And the people Mom works with are all big names in the industry. So cool! Mom? To her, I only exist during business hours. I'm sure she wants the best for you. How about this? Ask her if I could come live with you. I could be your mediator. The responsible big sister side of Scarlett thought that's not a great idea, but the lonely teenager in her was craving some company. So, she asked and got Athena's approval right away. Naomi coming here is like returning to her natural habitat. This is amazing. Thanks, Mom. I can't wait to see this city. I don't have time to show you around. But here, take a cab and buy yourself something. Is it just me, or does she seem to get along much better with Mom? I totally see it too, Scarlett. When Scarlett's image became much more marketable, Athena got her first ever fashion photo shoot. But since this was Scarlett's first time modeling, she struggled the whole day, but couldn't seem to have any good shots. Let's try again. Remember, we want clean, athletic, smiley. Yeah, and she's giving dirty, tired, and paunchy. Everyone take 10. That's it! Look at all this stuff, guys. Isn't it crazy? Ah! What's wrong? Talk to me. I can't take this anymore. She is vicious. She doesn't give a flying crap that I beat myself up trying and orders me around like a puppet. This is draining me day by day. I'm exhausted. Naomi could only offer little comfort pats while listening to Scarlett's rant, but she's secretly thinking that her sister didn't know this was the life that others would kill to have. Little did Scarlett know, Naomi came to Athena immediately afterward. Mom, I want to be famous too. Make me. Sorry, that's a no. What does Scarlett have that I don't? I can do everything she does with a smile. You're only seeing this at a surface level. Scarlett's got that X factor. That's why I chose her. She's special, and you're not. That's it. She doesn't want that anyway. Who says? Show me. Never mind. Naomi sulkily walked out when she ran straight into Scarlett. What on earth happened? You wouldn't understand. This time, Scarlett got a better grip of the job and became more confident. Then her followers grew quickly when she had a few viral videos. Those numbers translate to more high-profile promo campaigns and countless PR packages from brands. Most of her free PR stuff went to Naomi, though. Scarlett got recognized and asked for photos more often whenever she went out, and she gradually and strangely loved it. Athena seemed to be satisfied and not giving her a hard time anymore, and even flashed the first smile. Most importantly, there's more money to go towards their dad's treatment. Thanks, my darlings. The doctors could proceed with every necessary procedure, so I'll be discharged any day now. By the way, does your mother treat you well?
She'd better.
Soon you won't need to bend over backwards anymore.
When Dad gets better, this will all be over. Why do I suddenly feel kinda empty?
Are you not happy to see Dad get better?
What? No! Of course I'm happy for him.
Right then, Naomi saw something that could change everything.
What's that?
Nothing. Scarlett's on cloud 9 to see all those times of intensive training, diet, and exercise finally bear fruits. Today, Athena even called her to her office.
Maybe she wants to discuss the next trip, or plan to move to LA.
I want to terminate our contract, effective immediately.
What?
What? You'll be compensated for this untimely breach of contract, which would be enough to cover everything, and—
Hold on, why?
You're no fit.
Am I not getting more popular? What do you mean?
You won't last.
But it can still be a source of income. Why cut it completely? More profit for you too, right?
Isn't that your sole target in doing this? Or are you afraid that I'll come back to bite you once I've made it? Watch your tongue. Regardless, we won't be working together. That's final.
Tell me, are you scared people will figure out that I'm your daughter? Right, you never even came to see my frail, bedridden father. I never needed a mother like you anyway.
Then a smack landed on Scarlett's face. She held her left cheek, eyes wide open, and glared at the person standing in front of her with great fury.
I sprinted to the cafeteria, hoping that there would be something tasty left. This was my teacher's fault. She made me stay behind after class. Mindy, your grades are too low. Yada, yada. Oh no, all I saw were empty trays everywhere. My stomach rumbled at the thought of having to return to class hungry. But then, like a mirage in the desert, the last loaf of bread, chillin' next to Tom the Hottie. Without a second thought, I grabbed it and bit into it. Chewy. Very chewy. Then suddenly, everyone burst out laughing. That's when it hit me. There was no bread. I was munching on Tom's ballet shoes. Hey, I'm Mindy, and I belong to a family of champion weightlifters. Yep, my dad's genes explain why I'm the tallest girl in school. I used to long to become a weightlifter just like Dad, but then I met my BFF, Tiffany. Suddenly, I discovered a world of pretty dresses and delicate spins called figure skating, and I couldn't look at my ugly weightlifting shorts in the same way again. Tiff took me ice skating at the mall, and I loved it. Since then, that's all I've wanted to be. Okay, so I may not be petite like Tiff, but I was smart enough to use algorithms to calculate angles during training. Tiff and I both got scholarships into this amazing sports-focused high school, and yeah, that's when the trouble started. It didn't matter what cute outfits I wore or how normal I tried to be. Being a giraffe made me stand out, and being with pretty, petite Tiff made it worse. The only ones who didn't ignore me were the weightlifting team, but that's only because my dad was their coach. Then, to make things even worse, my clumsiness and appetite of an elephant accidentally got me on Tom's bad side. This was bad, as almost every girl and guy in this place was obsessed with him. Ever since then, no one took me seriously, and trying to avoid my dad so he didn't lecture me on giving up skating for weightlifting was tiring. I was in the changing rooms when Tiff came over. Oh, I forgot it was the annual health check day today. I shouldn't have eaten that muffin earlier. Oh, no, I forgot about that too. No way could I have my weight published for the entire school to see. I'd be nicknamed Mindy the Massive. So when no one was looking, I sneaked out of there. But trying to find a hiding spot big enough for this oversized body isn't easy. The janitor's closet. But as I hurried toward it, I bumped into Tom. Have you ever heard of ladies first? You call yourself a lady? Fine, lady. Let me have this. In exchange, I have this very yummy snack for you. What snack? This bread. How dare you! At that moment, the door suddenly swung open and the janitor yelled at us to stop kissing? Ugh, what? Thanks to this unnecessary misunderstanding, we ended up in the principal's office along with our parents. My dad even brought the entire weightlifting team along and started throwing a tantrum. Mindy, you skipped classes. I couldn't mention the health checkup, so in a panic, I babbled out, I was on a date with Tom. Who would ever date you, Miss Brahma Bull? Then there was a loud bang as my dad smashed the table in half. Bull? Who are you calling a bull? I mean, Mindy is strong and cute, just like a bull. Our love language is a bit, special, isn't it, honey? Oh, my lovey donkey. You're revealing a little too much. Everyone gasped in shock, and the next thing I knew, Dad burst into tears of joy and started hugging everyone. My pumpkin finally has a boyfriend. This calls for a party at my house, but if you ever break my little girl's heart, you're doomed. I thought it was just a white lie until the next day the stampede of students bombarded me with questions.
How long have you and Tom been together?
Who made the first move? You or him?
You have to come sit with us.
So this white lie had actually grown legs and was sprinting. But strangely, this feels interesting. Suddenly, I wasn't just Tiffany's oddball sidekick anymore. Instead, I had all the limelight, and this shouldn't be ending so soon. No, I had to extend my fake dating with Tom. So right when Tom walked by, I immediately dragged him away amid the roars of approval from the students. The entire weightlifting team is spying on us. Do you want to feel my dad's wrath if he finds out you were lying to him?
You started this.
I don't think my dad will see it that way.
Fine, I'll play your boyfriend. And you stop eating my shoes.
Deal. So we continued the dating facade, but I didn't expect that the weightlifting team actually was spying on us everywhere. We had to keep up the act. Tom escorted me to all of my classes, stuck adorable notes on my locker, and during lunch, he fed me spaghetti and used his sleeve to wipe the sauce off my mouth. We ended up spending most of our time together, and the spies definitely thought we were the real deal. I knew this was all just an act, but he was like a big cheese ball. My cheese ball, so still, it felt good. The more time I spent with Tom, the more I found myself liking him. He listened as I told him how hard I worked to get into the school, and in return, I learned new aspects about him, such as how much he loved ballet dancing, even though his family and his former friends hadn't always been understanding about it, and that his cold exterior was due to this, as he didn't want anyone who would question his dreams in his life again. We started growing closer, and he did some super cute things, such as cheering me on during skating practice and bringing me hot chocolate to warm me up. I was enjoying getting to know Tom, but unfortunately, not everyone was a part of our fan club. No matter what I said, Tiff wouldn't believe that he was anything other than a bad boy. She would send me endless texts just to force me to choose between Tom and her. I knew ever since Tom appeared, I spent less time with her, but she was being too much. To top it off, she even lied about being injured during practice to ruin my date. I gave Tiff the cold shoulder after that. She needed to reflect on her actions. One day I was sorting out my locker when Rachel, one of the most popular girls in our team, aka Tiff's rival, approached me and asked me to join her group. But what about Tiff? Tiff always told me that Rachel's no good, and what's wrong? Do you have to ask for Tiffany's permission before befriending someone? Or what? Aren't you more famous than she is? Right! I need to stop being seen as her sidekick. I have my own choice, my own friends. So I agreed to join Rachel's group. And I gotta admit, it's pretty sweet being with a popular clique. And on the other hand, dating the cutest boy. Spending all this time with Tom made me realize something. I had feelings for him. Real feelings. Pretty soon I found I couldn't help but babble about Tom all the time to Rachel. Oh, honey, you're so cute. But I don't think you should keep seeing that guy. Huh? Why? Okay, I see. Now you're acting like Tiff too. No, I mean, there's a rumor that he's dating someone behind your back. Tiff. I saw them looking cozy together. What? No way! But Tiff did seem jealous, and she did ruin my date with Tom, so maybe there was some truth to this. Rachel's words were bugging me, so after school, I went to Tiff's house to ask her about it. That's when I saw Tiff crying in Tom's arms. Rachel was right. Tiff and Tom were together. I left before either of them saw me. Sobbing, I texted Tom ending our fake relationship and blocked both numbers. The next day at school, everyone was gossiping about how Tom had left me for Tiff. And worst of all, being the giant I was, I couldn't hide away from it. Even Rachel and her group turned on me. What's wrong? Have you fallen off your high horse? Once an ugly duckling, always an ugly duckling. I couldn't bear staying there and watching them laughing at me, so I left school and went back home. I wasn't going back there, and no one could make me. I locked myself in my room and refused to leave it until...
Is this because of that Tom? Pumpkin, I'll teach him a lesson.
I reluctantly opened the door.
Mindy, you look terrible. What's happened?
It all became too much, and I ended up blurting everything out to Dad. I'm a joke. No one takes me seriously because of how I look. No boys like me, no one wants to be my friend, and no one believes I can skate.
Pumpkin, you got into one of the top sports schools out there. That means you're a talented skater, regardless of what anyone else says, including me. Fame is just temporary. Look at me, once a world champion, but now just a beer-bellied man whose sole life purpose is to raise my pumpkin.
Dad.
All right, you're too strong to let these dummies knock you down. Got it?
Dad was right. I I couldn't give up on my dreams because of other people's opinions. So, the next day I returned to school and ignored all the gops and jibes. On seeing Tom and Tiff together, I stared over them and carried on walking. This was the first step in cutting toxic people out of my life and learning to love myself. Which is why, when the teacher asked for volunteers for the skating competition, as Tiff put up her hand, so did I. We all know you only did that so you can face off Tiff. They could think what they wanted. I wasn't backing down. Then my phone beeped. It was a message from Rachel asking me to meet her outside. As soon as I reached her, she started asking me all these questions, as if she cared. Suddenly worried for me? Where's your sarcastic smirk? I'm sorry for the other day. Everyone was staring at me, so I had to play along with them. Trust me, I would never look down on you. Okay, I didn't expect this. Anyway, this is Alex. I don't want you to be the only one without a skating partner, so I found him for you. Forgive me? She seemed so genuine that I couldn't not believe her. I was once in her place, scared of the judgment and peer pressure, so I knew how it felt. Maybe Rachel did mean well. Besides, I'd already lost Tiff as a friend. I didn't want to be alone. I arrived home to find Tiff already waiting for me. Why are you being besties with Rachel? She ridiculed you in front of everyone. You've changed, Mindy. Do you want me to be the same and be picked on forever? And you're not a great friend either. You just want me to live in your shadow and witness how happy you are with your new boyfriend. What about you? You left me too. I felt stunned. How could she be that upset when she was the one who now had Tom? When I'd calmed down, I thought back to what Tiff had said and wondered if I really had changed. Tiff was always there for me, regardless of what I looked like, but I didn't tell her Tom and I weren't for real, as I guess it made me feel superior. I joined Rachel's group without considering how bad it would make Tiff feel. I realized that I had an inferiority complex toward my own best friend. On the day of the competition, I went to talk to Tiff, but I couldn't find her. I smashed my routine with Alex, but during Tiff's turn, I noticed that something seemed wrong. Then during her spin, I saw her lose her balance and thud! She fell hard and was rushed to the hospital. I rushed over to accompany her there, but Rachel stopped me. Why did you do that with her skates? Was that the reason why you told me to keep it a secret about you sneaking into Tiffany's waiting room? I tried to explain that I didn't do anything, but then the judge announced the results. Because of Tiff's mishap, I'd scored enough to land the last spot in the final round. I won't work with someone who uses tricks to win. Giant girl, you're on your own. Everyone started to groan at me, and I began to panic. Why does no one want to believe me? The final round was around the corner, but I couldn't stop worrying. As I stepped onto the ice, I spotted Alex smirking while standing next to Rachel and realized they'd played me. I stood there as still as a statue and too frightened to skate alone. Then the crowd fell silent, and I saw someone wobbly approaching me. Tom! The rumors about me and Tiff aren't true. Mindy, I like you. So, how about it, bull girl? Will you let this ballet boy be your partner? Confused yet touched, I nodded. Now chin up. Look. And in the stand was Tiff, holding up a banner while screaming, Mindy, you can do it! Energized by newfound courage, Tom and I fumbled through our routine. And even though we made loads of mistakes, it didn't matter, as I felt so happy to know that I had Tom and Tiff on my side, and that I hadn't given up. I came last and Rachel won, but as she's receiving the trophy, the judges had some discussion. Turns out another student had video evidence of Rachel damaging Tiff's skates. As they took the trophy off her, she got angry and shouted, Obviously I wouldn't want to be friends with a freak like you. I was just using you so I could eliminate Tiff. Her words would have once stung me, but now I didn't care what she had to say, and I hurried off to find Tiff. On seeing her, I gave her a big hug, and she told me the truth. Sorry I couldn't tell you sooner. Actually, Tom is my half-brother. My dad's a famous skater. He lied that he was single, but he wasn't. He was married. He refused to be a part of my life, and Mom was too afraid to go public about what he did. She struggled with no financial help from him. I resented my dad and presumed Tom would be just like him. I never told you this, as I was embarrassed, but turns out you're right. Tom is actually a great guy. Oh, wow, now everything made sense. All these secrets had led to all this confusion, so we promised never to keep anything from each other again. Thanks to the friends that really care for me, I've learned to love myself, and I use my size as a strength. Being unique isn't a weakness, it's an advantage. And best of all, the people that matter like me just as I am.